Alex's boots crunched on the metallic floor of the ruined arena. The air was heavy with the scent of scorched metal and alien dust, the kind that made his throat itch. He had been on countless missions before, but this planet felt different. The sky glowed with a faint green hue, streaked with violet clouds, and strange constellations shone above as if mocking the insignificance of humans. His reconnaissance team followed at a careful distance, their rifles ready, but silent. Every shadow seemed alive, every corner could hide danger. The arena was immense. Circular walls towered above, engraved with alien runes that pulsed faintly. Alex's eyes scanned the perimeter. Ruins like this were said to hold treasures or traps. The stories told of civilizations far older than humanity, their technology lost to time. Yet here, evidence remained, waiting for someone bold enough to explore it. A sudden movement caught his eye. At the center of the arena stood a figure unlike any Alex had seen before. She was tall, regal, with silver-blue skin that shimmered under the alien light. Her eyes were sharp, golden, and her expression carried the weight of authority and danger. She held a long, curved weapon that hummed softly, its edges glowing like liquid metal. "You are not welcome here," she said, her voice melodic yet commanding. "Leave, or face consequences." Alex swallowed, feeling the tension coil in his stomach. He had expected resistance, but not something so majestic. "I'm not here to fight," he said carefully, keeping his hands visible. "I am a scout, just exploring. No harm intended." Her eyes narrowed. "Humans do not enter our sacred grounds without purpose. Prepare yourself." Before he could respond, she lunged forward. The motion was faster than anything Alex had encountered. His instincts kicked in. He rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding a strike that scorched the ground where he had stood. Sparks flew, and the team behind him gasped. Alex drew his sidearm, but the weapon felt small and inadequate against her skill. He had faced elite soldiers before, but this was different. Her movements were fluid, precise, almost as if she could anticipate his every thought. He ducked another strike, sparks flying past his head, and realized that brute force would not win this fight. Then, in a fleeting moment, her eyes flicked down to his arm. She froze mid-strike, her weapon hovering in the air. Alex felt a sudden tension, his own breath catching. He followed her gaze and realized that she was staring at the tattoo on his forearm. It was a simple design, a circle with lines radiating outward, but it wasn't just any tattoo. It was a symbol from her people, one thought to be lost to history. No human should know of it. And yet here it was, etched into his skin, her weapon lowered slightly. "Where? Did you get that?" she asked, her voice quieter, almost uncertain. Alex's mind raced. He had been given the tattoo as a child by his mentor, a human archaeologist who had studied her civilization. The mentor had said it was important, a mark of someone who could one day bridge worlds. Alex had thought it was just a legend. Yet now, faced with the princess herself, it carried weight he had never imagined. I was told it would help me find someone like you," he said honestly. "I didn't know it would be you, or that it would mean anything to your people." Her eyes softened, a fleeting moment that felt like a crack in her armor. She studied him carefully, as if measuring whether he was telling the truth. The energy that had filled the arena moments ago seemed to dim slightly. Even the air felt less tense. Alex took a cautious step forward. "I don't want to fight. I think we might be able to help each other." Liara didn't lower her weapon entirely, but she didn't attack either. Her gaze shifted, scanning him from head to toe, then down at the tattoo again. "No human has carried this mark in centuries," she said finally. You might be the one the legends spoke of." Alex blinked. "Legends? What do you mean?" She gestured for him to follow, cautiously, keeping her weapon ready. "There is a prophecy among my people," she said. "A human will appear, carrying the mark, who can stand in the middle of our conflict and bring balance." Many have sought this, but it has not happened. Until now. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. He had always wondered about the stories his mentor told, about humans being capable of incredible things beyond Earth, but he had never imagined being part of something this monumental, and certainly not facing a warrior princess who could kill him in a heartbeat. "Why me?" he asked softly. "I'm just—" She looked at him with intensity, as if peering through layers of doubt. "Perhaps because you are more than just," she said. "Perhaps because you have the courage to walk into the unknown, and the wisdom to survive it." The moment of understanding between them stretched long. Neither moved, each processing the revelation. The arena, the ruins, the distant green sky all faded into background noise as the significance of the tattoo sank in. For the first time, Alex saw not just a fierce enemy but a being who was both a leader and a protector of a people he barely understood. From the shadows, Alex's team watched, holding their breath. They had been prepared for a firefight, yet here was a moment of fragile peace, hanging by a thread. The princess, so often depicted in tales as untouchable and relentless, was suddenly uncertain. And Alex, the human soldier, felt an unfamiliar surge of hope. Liara finally spoke, her voice low and measured. "You will not be harmed today, human. But you must prove yourself. If the prophecy is to hold true, it is not enough to bear the mark. You must show that you can act with honor, strength, and wisdom." Alex nodded. "I understand. I'll do whatever it takes." The tension in the arena did not fully dissipate, but a truce had formed. The princess's warriors, initially poised for combat, lowered their weapons slightly, watching the exchange with cautious curiosity. They had seen countless humans, many foolish and arrogant, but this one, he bore a symbol that resonated with their history, something sacred. Liara turned, her posture rigid again, and gestured for him to follow deeper into the ruins. "The path will not be easy," she warned. "There are trials ahead. Tests that will challenge both body and mind. You may not survive them all. But if you do, the fate of our worlds could change." Alex swallowed. He had faced danger before, but the weight of this responsibility pressed on him like never before. He glanced back at his team, who gave him subtle nods of encouragement. Then he stepped forward, following Liara into the heart of the arena, where shadows twisted like living things and the runes on the walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own. Every step he took felt heavier than the last. He could feel history pressing down on him, the hopes of her people, the legends whispered across generations, and the uncertainty of his own future. Yet beneath the fear, a spark of determination burned. He had been chosen, whether by fate, legend, or chance, and he would not fail. Liara led him to a central platform, its surface etched with intricate designs. She stopped and gestured for him to stand in the middle. "The first trial begins at dawn," she said. "Rest now. Tomorrow, your courage will be tested, and the path you choose may decide the fate of many lives." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment settle into his bones. He had expected a routine mission, perhaps some exploration and data collection. Instead, he had stepped into a story far larger than himself, one that stretched across stars and centuries. As the twin moons rose in the alien sky, casting silver light across the arena, Alex sat quietly, staring at his tattoo. It seemed to glow faintly under the moonlight, a reminder that he was no longer just a human soldier, he was part of something extraordinary. And tomorrow, he would face the first challenge that could prove whether he was worthy of the destiny that had found him. The night passed slowly. Shadows shifted in the ruins, carrying whispers of history long forgotten. Somewhere deep in the darkness, creatures stirred. Yet Alex felt a strange calm. He had survived the first encounter, had made the princess pause, and had glimpsed a possibility that humans and her people could one day stand together. And when dawn finally broke, casting golden light across the arena, Alex stood ready. The princess appeared across the platform, her golden eyes fixed on him, her weapon ready, her expression unreadable. The trial was about to begin, and the fate of two worlds hung silently in the balance. The first light of dawn spread across the ruins, painting the arena in pale gold. Alex tightened his gloves and took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm of nerves in his chest. He had survived the initial confrontation with Liara, the alien princess, and now he faced something far more uncertain, trials he did not yet fully understand. His tattoo tingled faintly under the early sunlight, as if reminding him that he had been chosen for something greater than himself. Liara appeared on the platform opposite him. Her silver-blue skin shimmered in the morning light, and her golden eyes were fixed on him with quiet intensity. She carried no visible hostility, yet Alex could feel the weight of her authority pressing down on him. Her presence was commanding, and even the shadows of the arena seemed to bend slightly in her direction. "The first trial will test courage and adaptability," Liara said, her voice calm but resonant. "You must navigate the Chamber of Echoes, a place where the mind and body are tested together. Many have entered. Few have returned." Alex swallowed, nodding. "I'm ready." She studied him carefully for a moment, then waved her hand. A section of the arena floor shimmered and shifted. Slowly, the metal panels receded to reveal a dark corridor leading underground. The air that escaped was cold and carried a faint metallic scent. He could hear the faint hum of alien machinery deep within. "The chamber adapts to those who enter," Liara explained. "It will create obstacles based on your fears, your weaknesses, and your choices. You must remain calm and focused. Only then can you succeed." Alex glanced at his team behind him, but they stayed at the entrance, unable to accompany him. This was his trial alone. He stepped forward cautiously, his boots echoing against the metal floor, the shadows stretching around him like fingers. The corridor narrowed, walls lined with glowing runes that pulsed faintly. Alex could feel the energy of the chamber as soon as he stepped inside, a subtle pressure that made the hair on his arms rise. His heart beat steadily, but he reminded himself to remain calm. He had faced dangers before, but this was different. The danger was not visible. It was psychological, designed to test his inner strength as much as his reflexes. The first obstacle appeared without warning. A section of the corridor shifted, forming a narrow bridge over a chasm filled with swirling green mist. Alex paused, peering over the edge. He could see nothing below. His legs felt heavy, but he forced himself to focus. One careful step, then another. His boots slid slightly on the slick surface, and he steadied himself with a hand against the wall. The mist seemed to reach up, curling around his legs, as if the chamber were testing his balance and fear. Halfway across, a voice echoed, distorted and unfamiliar. "You do not belong here," it whispered. Alex's pulse quickened, but he ignored the words. The voice sounded like someone he knew, yet not, blending memories of home with fear. He took a deep breath, telling himself it was only the chamber's illusion. One step at a time, he reached the other side, relief washing over him as the bridge retracted into the floor. The next obstacle was more physical. A series of energy barriers appeared, shifting up and down in a seemingly random pattern. They glowed red, humming with lethal energy. Alex studied their rhythm, then sprinted, ducked, and jumped, narrowly avoiding the pulses. Each movement required precision, focus, and courage. He could feel the sweat on his brow, yet he pressed forward, guided by instinct and training. Finally, the chamber shifted again. He entered a wide room, walls adorned with holographic images of alien cities and forests. In the center floated a transparent sphere, containing a faint light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Alex instinctively recognized it as the artifact. Liara had mentioned something connected to his tattoo, but as he approached, the sphere projected images of people he cared about: his mentor, his team, even civilians he had sworn to protect. The chamber was testing his emotional resolve, forcing him to confront the fear of losing those he loved. Alex took a step closer, his mind racing. He could feel the weight of responsibility, the pull of duty pressing on him like a physical force. "I will not fail," he muttered to himself. "I cannot." The sphere responded to his determination. the light intensifying as the illusions faded. He touched the sphere carefully, and it pulsed warmly, as if acknowledging his courage. The chamber shifted once more, walls dissolving into darkness. Alex found himself on a platform suspended over a deep abyss. Surrounded by faintly glowing runes, Liara's voice echoed softly in the distance, though she was nowhere to be seen. "The final test of this trial is wisdom," she said. "Choose the path that aligns with your instincts and your honor. Only one will lead to success." 3 bridges appeared, each leading into darkness. One seemed sturdy but narrow, another wide but unstable, and the last faintly illuminated with pulsating blue light. Alex paused, thinking carefully. He remembered his mentor's words. Courage alone is not enough. Wisdom and judgment are what truly define a leader. He chose the blue-lit path, trusting intuition and his own understanding of the chamber's tests. The bridge shifted under his feet, but it held. The air vibrated with energy, and the chamber seemed to hum in approval. When he reached the end, a platform rose from the darkness, carrying him back to the surface of the arena. He was greeted by Liara's golden eyes, studying him intently, though her expression remained unreadable. "You have passed the first trial," she said finally, her voice calm but edged with something like approval. "Few humans could have succeeded in that chamber. Your courage and judgment are exceptional." Alex exhaled, relief mingling with disbelief. He had survived the chamber, proven himself to the alien princess, and now he felt a strange sense of connection to her people through the tattoo that had started it all. Yet he also knew this was only the beginning. The trials would grow more difficult, and he would be tested in ways that went beyond physical skill. Liara gestured for him to follow. "The next trial is not physical. It is a trial of understanding and communication. You must navigate the Hall of Reflections, a place where intentions are tested and truths are revealed. Your ability to connect with others, to inspire trust and cooperation, will be essential." Alex nodded, trying to steady his thoughts. He had always relied on instinct and training, but now he needed to think differently. He had to understand the perspective of another species, a civilization with values and history unlike anything he had known. This was a challenge of intellect, empathy, and patience. The Hall of Reflections was unlike anything Alex had imagined. Smooth walls reflected light in strange patterns, creating illusions of multiple versions of himself. He could hear whispers, not of threats, but of questions, doubts, and accusations. "Why should we trust you?" one voice asked. "You are human. You have no right here." Alex paused and spoke aloud, addressing the echoes as if they were real. "I am here not to conquer or destroy. I am here to understand, to help, to learn. My tattoo may mean something to you, but it also reminds me of responsibility. I will do what I must to protect lives, both human and yours." The reflections seemed to shift, the whispers fading. The path ahead became clearer, illuminated by soft, golden light. Alex realized that his words, his intentions, and his belief in cooperation had passed the chamber's test. He stepped forward carefully, reaching the end of the hall, where Liara awaited. Her gaze was sharper now, but not hostile. "Few humans possess such clarity of purpose," she said. "It is rare to find one who can face both fear and doubt with such resolve. You have done well, Alex, but there is more ahead. The final trial will test the unity of your mind and body with the principles of my people. Only then can you truly claim your place as a bridge between worlds." Alex felt a mixture of pride and apprehension. The journey had tested him in ways he had not expected, pushing him to confront fear, uncertainty, and the limits of his own skill. Yet he also felt a new sense of connection to Liara, to her people, and to the greater purpose that had found him through a simple mark on his arm. As he rested briefly, he looked at the tattoo again. Its faint glow seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat, a reminder that destiny had chosen him for something far greater than exploration or combat. He understood now that courage alone would not be enough. He needed wisdom, empathy, and the ability to inspire trust in those who doubted him. The sun rose higher, casting long shadows across the arena. Alex felt ready for whatever came next. He had passed the chamber, survived its tests, and gained the attention of the alien princess. The trials ahead would be even more demanding. But he had discovered something vital. Humans were capable of more than alien observers could imagine. And perhaps, together, they could reshape the fate of their worlds. Liara stepped closer, her weapon sheathed but her posture still commanding. "Rest now, human," she said. "Tomorrow, the final trial begins. Your courage and judgment have carried you this far, but the test ahead will require everything you have learned and more. You are no longer just a scout or a soldier. You are part of something far greater, and the galaxy will watch the outcome of your choices." Alex nodded, determination steady in his chest. He had come so far, faced the unknown, and begun to understand the weight of his destiny. The tattoo on his arm had brought him here. But it was his courage, his mind, and his heart that would guide him through the trials to come. As he looked toward the horizon, where alien suns began their climb, he realized that the adventure had only just begun. The princess had tested him, the chambers had challenged him, and the path ahead was uncertain, but he was ready. For the first time, he felt not fear, but purpose. He was a human, alone in an alien world. Yet he carried the hope of unity, the spark of a legend, and the quiet confidence that he could face whatever trials awaited him. The morning sun had barely risen when Alex and Liara stood at the edge of a vast platform hovering above a shimmering void. The air was thin, filled with a quiet hum that seemed to resonate in their bones. This was the final trial. The one that would determine whether Alex was truly capable of bridging the worlds of humans and Liara's people. He felt the weight of expectation pressing on him. But alongside it was a spark of determination that refused to fade. Liara's golden eyes studied him intently. "This trial is not about speed, strength, or intellect alone," she said. "It is about unity. Your mind, your spirit, and your heart must work as one, guided by trust and understanding. Only then will the path reveal itself." Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. He had faced fear, physical danger, and illusions designed to test his courage and judgment. Now, he had to show something even more difficult: the ability to connect with another being across species, to understand intentions without words, and to act in harmony. The platform shifted beneath their feet, rotating slowly to reveal 3 massive doors, each etched with alien symbols that glowed faintly. "Choose wisely," Liara said. "Each door leads to a different challenge, but only one aligns with the principles of my people. The others will test your resolve in ways you are not prepared for." Alex examined the doors carefully. One was adorned with swirling flames, another with cascading water, and the last with intricate patterns of light that reminded him faintly of his tattoo. He studied the patterns, recalling the teachings of his mentor about the harmony between human ingenuity and the philosophy of other civilizations. Trusting instinct, he stepped toward the door, with the patterns of light. The others seemed to react subtly, shifting slightly as if acknowledging his choice. The door opened silently, revealing a chamber filled with mirrors that stretched from floor to ceiling. Each mirror reflected not only his image but also versions of him interacting with Liara in countless ways: friendship, conflict, hesitation, and cooperation. Alex realized that this trial was as much about understanding himself as it was about earning the trust of her people. A soft, melodic voice echoed through the chamber. "Every choice you have made has led you here. Observe, reflect, and act with clarity. Only then can you move forward." Alex studied the mirrors carefully. Some reflections showed him hesitating, retreating from challenges. Others showed him acting selfishly or reacting impulsively. But one reflection caught his attention. It showed him standing beside Liara, making decisions together, facing danger as a team. He focused on that vision, internalizing the sense of cooperation and trust it conveyed. The mirrors shimmered, and the images shifted, forcing him to confront the versions of himself he feared most. He took deep breaths, grounding himself, reminding himself that he was not defined by mistakes or doubt but by the choices he made now. Slowly, a path appeared through the mirrors, illuminated by the same faint glow as his tattoo. Alex stepped forward, following the glowing path. Each step seemed to resonate with the chamber itself, as if the structure recognized his growing understanding. When he reached the center, he found Liara waiting, her expression unreadable, though her stance was less rigid than before. "You have shown clarity and determination," she said, "but the final part of this trial is one of trust. You must act in complete harmony with another being, without hesitation or doubt. Only then can the path forward be fully revealed." Alex's heart raced. He had trained to act in coordination with teams, but this was different. This was not about following orders or strategy. It was about instinct, understanding, and a connection that transcended language. Liara extended her hand, and he hesitated only briefly before taking it. The instant their hands met, a pulse of energy surged through them both, warm and steady, as if the chamber itself acknowledged their connection. The mirrors around them shimmered and then dissolved, revealing a vast chamber filled with floating platforms, shifting walls, and moving obstacles. The only way across was to act together, reading each other's intentions, anticipating movements, and trusting instincts. Every misstep could mean falling into the void below. Alex moved first, stepping onto a narrow platform that swayed slightly. He adjusted his stance, feeling Liara's presence guiding him. She followed seamlessly, moving in perfect synchronization with him. They spoke little, relying on subtle gestures, shared glances, and instinct. Each platform presented a new challenge. Spinning discs, energy barriers, gaps that required timing and coordination. Every obstacle tested their ability to act as one. Hours seemed to pass as they navigated the chamber. Alex marveled at how natural the cooperation felt. He had faced countless battles, but never one like this where success depended not on strength or firepower, but on trust and understanding. Liara moved with grace and precision, her instincts and experience blending with his own. Together, they became a single entity, moving fluidly through the dangers. At one point, a platform shifted beneath them, tilting sharply. Alex stumbled, but Liara reached out instinctively, steadying him. Their hands touched again, and a faint glow radiated from his tattoo, as if affirming that the bridge between their worlds was strengthening. He realized then that the tattoo was more than a mark. It was a symbol of potential, of connection, of destiny intertwined with action. The final obstacle appeared. A massive gap, too wide for a simple jump. Alex and Liara paused, calculating, assessing, and communicating without words. Then, in perfect unison, they sprinted, leaped, and landed safely on the opposite platform. The chamber responded, walls sliding aside to reveal an exit bathed in warm, golden light. Alex exhaled, his body trembling from exertion and relief. Liara turned to him, her golden eyes softer now, but still intense. "You have passed the trials," she said, not because of strength or skill alone, but because of courage, wisdom, and unity. "You have proven yourself worthy." Alex's chest swelled with pride, but also with humility. He had faced fear, illusions, and challenges that tested every part of him, and he had succeeded. Yet he knew the trials had done more than prove his worth. They had forged a bond with Liara, one that went beyond words or gestures. They had learned to trust each other, to anticipate and support each other, and in doing so, had created a connection that might change the course of their worlds. Liara studied him silently for a long moment. Then she gestured toward a pedestal in the center of the chamber. On it rested a small, crystalline device that pulsed with light, matching the glow of Alex's tattoo. "This artifact is part of my people's heritage," she explained. "It recognizes those who carry the mark, those who can act with unity and honor. You have earned the right to hold it." Alex approached cautiously, his hand hovering over the artifact. The moment he touched it, a warmth spread through him, and the glow of the tattoo intensified. He felt a connection not only to Liara, but to her people, to a history that had been preserved in secret, and to a future that depended on cooperation and understanding. "You understand now," Liara said quietly, her tone almost reverent. The mark, the trials, they are not just tests. They are reminders of what it means to act with courage, wisdom, and unity. Humans have potential that many do not recognize. You have shown that potential. Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and responsibility. He had always believed in humanity's capacity for greatness, but standing here, recognized by an alien princess and connected to her people's legacy, he realized how far-reaching that potential could be. The platform shifted, lowering them back to the surface of the arena. The light of the twin moons reflected off the ruins, casting long shadows. Alex looked at Liara, noticing a subtle change in her demeanor. She was no longer just a warrior princess. She was a leader, a guide, and now, perhaps, a partner in a shared destiny. "You have done well," she said, finally breaking the silence. "The trials are complete, but this is only the beginning. The path ahead will be challenging, and there are those who will doubt or oppose you, but you have proven that humans can rise to meet challenges, that we can trust one another, and that cooperation can overcome fear and conflict." Alex felt a quiet determination settle in his chest. He had come to this alien world as a scout, uncertain and cautious. Now he stood as someone chosen, recognized, and connected to a destiny that transcended planets and species. The trials had tested him, shaped him, and shown him that humanity's courage and wisdom could shine even in the most alien of circumstances. Liara extended her hand once more. "Rest now," she said. "You have earned it. Tomorrow, we begin the next chapter, the work of building trust between our peoples. The galaxy will watch, but it is our actions that will shape the future." Alex took her hand, feeling the warmth and the unspoken trust in the gesture. For the first time, he felt completely understood, not just as a human, but as someone capable of standing alongside another civilization, bridging worlds, and shaping the fate of many. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the arena, Alex looked down at his tattoo. The glow had faded slightly, but the warmth remained, a quiet reminder that destiny had found him, and that he had risen to meet it. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of peace, knowing that courage, wisdom, and unity had carried him this far and would guide him further still. The air was crisp as Alex and Liara stepped out of the trials chamber. The ruins of the arena bathed in the pale light of the alien dawn. The trials were complete, but their work was far from over. Both humans and Liara's people watched silently from a distance, their eyes reflecting curiosity, skepticism, and cautious hope. The success of Alex's trials had been observed by many, yet the future required more than courage and wisdom, it demanded action. Liara led him toward a nearby command hall, its walls etched with symbols of her civilization. "The faction that opposes peace is growing bolder," she said, her voice steady but edged with concern. "They believe humans cannot be trusted, that we cannot unite. But you have proven them wrong in the arena. Now, we must prove it beyond the walls of this place." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The trials had tested him physically, mentally, and emotionally, and he had succeeded. Now, he would apply what he had learned in a real-world scenario. The stakes were no longer illusions or controlled obstacles, they were lives, decisions, and the fragile thread of trust between species. As they entered the command hall, holographic maps projected from the floor, showing clusters of settlements, patrol routes, and areas of conflict. Liara gestured to a specific point on the map. "This is where the extremists have gathered. They plan to attack human outposts at dawn. If they succeed, it will ignite a war that could span multiple systems. We must act quickly." Alex studied the map, analyzing the positions and movements of both factions. "We can use their overconfidence against them," he said. "If we can anticipate their strategy, we can neutralize them without unnecessary casualties. We need precision, coordination, and a clear plan." Liara's golden eyes narrowed in focus. "You speak as a strategist, human. Perhaps your kind is more capable than I was led to believe." She paused, then added quietly, We will follow your lead. But you must understand the risks. Failure is not an option. Alex took a deep breath. He had faced danger before, but this was different. This was not a controlled trial, it was real. And lives were at stake. Yet he felt a strange calm, the result of the lessons learned in the chamber. Courage, wisdom, and unity were not just ideals, they were tools he could wield, guiding not only himself, but those around him. They moved quickly, gathering a small team of human and alien allies who had observed Alex's success. Together, they traveled through the ruins and forests surrounding the extremist camp, using stealth and strategy to avoid detection. Alex led the way, combining his knowledge of human tactics with insights he had gained from Liara's teachings. Each decision was deliberate, each movement calculated. As they approached the camp, the tension grew. The extremists were heavily armed, their numbers greater than Alex had anticipated. But he trusted the plan and the cooperation that had been forged during the trials. He signaled to Liara, and together they initiated the first phase, drawing the extremists into a controlled area where escape routes were limited. The extremists reacted with aggression, but Alex's team was prepared. Coordinated strikes, clever diversions, and precise movements allowed them to neutralize threats without unnecessary violence. Liara fought alongside him, her skill and discipline complementing his strategy perfectly. The combination of human ingenuity and alien experience created an effect that the extremists could not anticipate. Midway through the engagement, Alex noticed a group attempting to flank them. Without hesitation, he signaled Liara, and they moved as one, intercepting the group and preventing a potential disaster. Their coordination was seamless, a reflection of the trust and unity built during the trials. Every decision was instinctive, every movement aligned. When the conflict ended, the extremists were contained, and the human outposts were safe. Alex and Liara stood together, surveying the aftermath. There was no celebration, no arrogance, only a quiet acknowledgement of success. The factions' plans had been thwarted, and the foundation for peace had been laid. But the real work of maintaining trust and cooperation was just beginning. Liara turned to Alex, her expression softer now, yet still filled with authority. You have done more than survive trials or prove your skill. You have shown that humans can act with wisdom, courage, and honor. You have inspired not only me, but many of my people. Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. I didn't do it alone, he said. Your guidance, the cooperation of your people, and the trust we built, that made this possible. We acted together. Liara nodded, a rare smile touching her features. Yes, together. That is what matters. You have shown the potential for unity between our peoples, and that is worth more than any single victory. As the day progressed, news of their success spread. The extremists' defeat was not just a tactical victory, it was symbolic. Humans and Liara's people began to see the possibility of alliance, of working together rather than against one another. Alex's tattoo, once a mysterious mark, had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that courage and unity could bridge even the widest divides. In the quiet moments after the conflict, Alex and Liara stood together on a high balcony overlooking the alien city. The sun reflected off crystalline towers, casting patterns of light across the streets below. Liara's gaze lingered on him, thoughtful and contemplative. You carry more than a mark, she said softly. You carry the potential to change perceptions, to inspire cooperation, and to shape the future of our worlds. Alex looked at his tattoo, the faint glow still present, a reminder of the journey that had brought him here. I hope I can live up to it, he replied. Not just for you or your people, but for everyone who depends on us working together. Liara placed a hand lightly on his arm, over the tattoo. You already have, she said. The trials tested more than skill, they tested character. And you have proven that humans are capable of great things, even in ways others cannot imagine. Their connection, forged through challenge and trust, felt stronger than ever. The bond was not just personal, it was symbolic, representing the potential for humans and Liara's people to stand together, to face dangers and uncertainty as allies. Alex realized that his role was far from over. The trials had been a beginning, not an end. And the future depended on maintaining the cooperation and understanding that had been established. As night fell, Alex and Liara walked through the alien city. Citizens of her world observed them with a mixture of curiosity and respect. Whispers spread about the human who had faced trials and fought alongside the princess, earning the right to stand among them. The symbol on his arm was now a sign of possibility, hope, and shared destiny. Liara turned to him as they reached the city's central plaza, where the artifact from the final trial was displayed. "The galaxy will watch," she said. "Many will doubt, many will test us. But if we remember what we have achieved here, courage, wisdom, and unity, we can overcome any challenge." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility yet also the strength that came from the trials, the battles, and the bond he shared with Liara. "We will," he said firmly. Together. For a moment, the city was silent. The two of them standing side by side, symbols of hope against the uncertainty of the universe. The tattoo on Alex's arm pulsed faintly, a quiet acknowledgement that destiny had found him and that he had risen to meet it. The trials had shaped him, but the real challenge, leading, inspiring, and building trust, was just beginning. As the first stars appeared in the alien sky, Alex understood that humans were capable of far more than the galaxy had imagined. The alien princess had challenged him, and through courage, wisdom, and unity, he had not only survived but proven the potential of his kind. The journey ahead would be long, filled with obstacles and opposition, but he was ready. Together, they would face the galaxy, stand as allies, and show that even the most distant worlds could find common ground. The trials had ended, but the story of unity, courage, and hope had only begun. Alex looked at Liara, and she looked at him, and in that shared moment, they both understood the truth. The tattoo was not just a mark, it was a bridge, and they were ready to cross it together. The air was calm, the stars reflected in their eyes, and the world stretched before them, full of danger and promise. Alex's journey had transformed him from a scout into a symbol, from an observer into a leader. And as the city lights flickered like distant stars, he felt something that went beyond duty or destiny. It was the quiet certainty that humans, when united and guided by courage and wisdom, could shape the universe in ways no one had imagined. The alien princess and the human soldier stood together, not as conqueror and subject, but as partners in a future that had been written long before either of them arrived, yet shaped by the choices they had made and the trust they had built. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight was a night of quiet victory, a night of hope, and a night where two worlds began to understand that greatness could be achieved when courage met wisdom, and unity became strength.